Okay, well, sentimentalities aside, I think that we need to generate characters number 4 and 5. Kitty on Paper says, because you're our friend, we love to hang out with you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. And Romonger will post, and again, thank you as well for sharing that. Oh, you just finished season 3. Ah. Are you and Kitty binge watching together, or is this more something that you're enjoying? And do you enjoy one set of anime? Does she enjoy another set, or do you usually binge watch stuff together? All right, we have our character generator here. Let's roll percentile to find out, do we have a boy or a girl? 7, we have a female character. And this character's race is a D10. Reroll a 10. 3. 1, 2, 3. We have a halfling. Now, again, for odds or evens. Odds. This is a stout halfling. Female stout halfling, whose alignment is 2D percentile. 66 and 45. Here we go. Neutral. It's in that that band. Lawful. Nope. Just out of lawful in the neutral. So she is just like true neutral or neutral, however you want to put it. Because she is a stout halfling, we're going to come up here, and she is small. S-M-O-L. Small. She's a small friend. I'm enjoying while she pretends to not like it. We do watch a lot of stuff together, though. King Von Ale says, sentimentality aside, finally gotta get that positive garbage out of here. Now I can put up all my resentment posters. Yeah, I mean, I trust your discretion, Romonger. If you're not sure and you want a private message, you can, but look, in PG-13 movies, you're allowed to drop 1 or 2 F-bombs. You can in Thor Ragnarok, I'm not spoiling anything for the story, but there's a portal in space that is called the Devil's Anus. They say it several times. So, yeah, that's fine, Romonger. You're good. I trust you, brother. I trust you. Hey, Kalania, good to see you. And yep, King can start putting up all the, he can tear down all those hang in there kitten posters and and put up grumpy cats and do all that stuff. All right, so we have a neutral female stout halfling, which is, I'm sure, making King's Day. What level is she? Let's roll a percentile and find out. Let's change that to a 1. 61 is going to be here, a level 10 character. Tastefully saucy. Now we're just selling food. She's going to get 2 ability score increases, or ASIs or stat bumps, whatever you want to call it. She's going to get 1 at 4 and 1 at 8. We're going to determine with a percentile roll how many of those are going to be feats. Hit it. 98. Both are going to be feats. She is going to have feat 1. Whoa. Feat 2. Okay. Bubonic, hey. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Yeah, you did put up an upgraded one. I'm sorry, Bubonic. When I finally got home, I was out and about. I ended up getting a late dinner and rushing around. What I will do, so Bubonic, I will finish this character with the old one we have up here. During the break in between characters, I will download the other one and we'll take a look at it, okay? Her background is a D13. Roll it. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's an entertainer. And entertainers get D3 things that they do. We're going to roll a 3-sided die and see what it lands on. 1. All right, she's going to get one thing that she's particularly good at doing, and that is going to be 1d10 then, instead of several. 9. Okay, she's entertainer number 9. Whatever that'll be. Don't worry about it. It's a placeholder. Now we need to scroll to page 2 and give her 2 personality traits on a d8. 6 and 2. And 3 other aspects to her background. Ideal 3, bond 6, flaw 3. Again, don't worry about it. These are placeholders. Now, after all of this, we can determine what class and archetype will she be. Big golden D12 right down here. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, we have a druid. Druid. Odds or evens will determine which kind. Odds. Odds for druid are Circle of the Land. So she's a spellcasty druid. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'll make this a little bit bigger here. So, Rowmonger has been sketching called Dorm Life. And this is really interesting. I like what you've done here. I get why you say it's a little racy, but I think this can be, it's still tasteful. It's not graphic or meant to be. This is meant to tell a story about the people who are living here, right? The things that they do, the things that they're enjoying. I don't know if you've put any little Easter eggs here or there. Probably so. But no, I think this is well done. Thank you, Rowmonger. A part of me is taking up the challenge and figuring out what are they watching? What is on their monitor? Though I don't know if that's something I can figure out. And is this, and yes, our dorm room was that messy. Yeah, but look, it's messy with culture and personality. Look at all this stuff here. Very, very cool, man. Thank you. Oh yeah, Darkwolf has given you an exasperated a woo. That is neat. Kalani is on board too. Kudos and accolades. Maybe even King Von Alay's heart was moved by such a touching scene. Only he can reveal that information. Halflings start at 2 feet 7 inches, and they're going to get to grow an additional 2d4. 2. All right, we bend out. All right, she is 2 feet 9 inches tall. She is a short stack. We're going to take this same 2 and multiply it by 1 and add it to 35 pounds. She is 37 pounds. A very svelte little thing. Now we can determine her age range with a percentile roll. 36. Just out of young adult, so she has just blossomed into adulthood here. For halflings, that is column 3, right? There we go, halflings. That's between 71 and 110. So that is going to be a, let's see, a D40. That'll have to, that might have been one of the adjustments then for halflings there. If it was a D50, then that would be for 120. 15. All right, so she is an adult at 85. Still a lot of life in her, too. Very cool. Okay. We've finished the RNG manipulation, and when next you see this, it's going to be Bobakis's improved one that he put up on our Discord. It's going to be your anniversary gift for your wife. Reason I said check the new version of the... Yeah, yep. I got you, Bubonic. I figured it was little tweaks and tune-ups like that, so we'll get to it after the break, and we'll look it over, and then we'll use it. We'll break it in tonight. Sorry about that. I was rushing around. Romonger, I think something like that would be excellent. You know, it's handmade, hand-drawn, and it's going to mean... I think it's going to mean a lot, especially because it seems to be something personal to you two, and it's a good showcase of your memories of your time together. Now, do you do any sort of like real life art hacks? If it's a pencil drawing, do you use hairspray or something to to seal the graphite, make sure it doesn't smudge? Are you gonna frame it, or how do you intend on presenting it to her? By the way, we're starting with the entertainer background as we do. Here we go. She's entertainer number 9. She is versatile. Number 9. Oh, she's a storyteller. Okay. Every ship needs a storyteller. That was done in SketchUp. Oh, do you have a finalized version? Did you go through and ink it? Or... Oh, gotcha. All right. Gotcha. Yeah, Bubonic. I agree, even as a sketch. Now, we can, as an entertainer, we'll load in mind that she's a storyteller. If her personality is making her a bit more feisty, we can make her a gladiator instead of a pure entertainer. So she still entertains, she just does so through physical combat of some kind. Now, being a druid circle of the land, I don't know. You having a high wisdom and mental stats, maybe a good charisma, she could be a good storyteller, and by shape-shifting, that can make him come alive. Or she can still be a gladiator of sorts. That's something to keep in mind. We'll keep entertainer up there for right now. King says, quickly, ban Romonger for nudity with implied sexual aspects is immediately rated R by the FCC. Romonger is now banned for life. A self-exile. Yes, we must only distribute government-approved side boob. Oh, who sits on that council? Be one of the, it's one of those positions, it's a political appointee, it's really cushy. You get 6 figures and you get all your travel expenses taken care of just to approve side boob. You're in the good old boobs club. 100%. Yep, that's true. That is true. There's a good quote out of Animal Farm about that, actually. We have... Where are we? Ah, yes. Here we go. There we go. Oh, shoot. You know what? I realized I forgot to reset my UI from Vampire last night. I'll do that real quick. You'll see a little bit of movie magic. You ready? We're going to shuffle things around. And whoop. Beep, bip, 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 bip. This comes down. Whoop. And there we go. I kind of butt up against it. And Buddha Belly gets moved over here. There we go. Movie magic, everyone. Movie magic. Yeah. King must be really good at playing Papers, Please. Okay, her personality traits are thus. Number 6. I get bitter if I'm not the center of attention. Oh, she's kind of spoiled. 2. Whenever I come to a new place, I collect local rumors and spread gossip. Oh, we have a storyteller who does this, who, you know, or even a gladiator who gets upset if she's not the center of attention and loves, you know, cheap, cheap, cheap. Shoot. Help me out, Dark Wolf. It's from Music Man, right? It's that like hen a little, pick a little, hen a little, pick a little, cheap, 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 cheap. It's when all the women in town were gossiping with each other and spreading rumors and going from there. That's right, King. Glory to our Statska. Tycho the wingman. The wing waifu. Ideals 3. Ideal number 3 is creativity. All right. The world is in need of new ideas and bold action. Bonds, number 6. I would do anything for the other members of my old troop. Ooh, all right. So she may have fond feelings for this current crew, but she calls back to her old entertainer days. You know, I remember back in the entertainment caravan or at Port so and so, and this happened. Oh, I'd do anything to go back to those days. Flaws number 3. A scandal prevents me from ever going home again. That kind of trouble seems to follow me around. Well, she is a rumor monger. She's a storyteller, though we can imagine some kind of scandal. What kind of scandal would cause her to be able to go home? She is a druid. So is her home her druid circle? Or is that something that she kind of did on the side? Like that's more of a religious practice. She's a citizen somewhere. She's a resident, but she's a druid on the side as an evoker of natural magics and methodologies. But what kind of a scandal could we give her? And you know what? This is probably why she sails. She was a part of an old troop, so the scandal could involve, I don't know, what if she accidentally blew the cover and the bearded lady of the circus wasn't actually bearded, or a lady, or neither, or both, but I don't know, false advertising. What happened in her past? We can think of that and create it. Bubonic smiles evilly. And Darkwolf takes pics of Tycho for the tabloids. I'm kind of thinking with this back with her personality like this being a casty druid, I think we should stick to entertainer and not worry about gladiator. If you think differently, though, hey, make a pitch. This isn't ink on paper that we're dealing with. It's not even kitty on paper we're dealing with. We're going to get acrobatics and performance for our background skills, our skill proficiencies. We are going to receive proficiency with the These Guys kit and an instrument. I'll put question marks to indicate, I don't know, what kind of instrument is it? Do we even know? We will receive our musical instrument. The favor of an admirer. Oh. What kind of a token would she receive from an admirer? We could make it a trinket if we want to roll for a trinket in the equipment section. We can just imagine something story related. What if somehow the trinket is something she hangs on to and is a part of her scandalous past? Did she do something that was taboo to her people and culture? I mean, if she's a halfling, did she fall in love with a dwarf? Did she fall in love? Maybe there's a clan rivalry between the Stout and the Lightfoots. So yes, it was another halfling she loved. But you know the Stouts and the Lightfoots just don't get along. They're the oh shoot, the Hatfields and the McCoys, something along those lines, feuding families. Um, what if she liked another girl and that's considered taboo in her culture, and so the favor she carries is that. Maybe the favor, honestly, was she told a great story, and I don't know, the mayor of some town was in the audience and gave her, the key to the city, something like that. There's all kinds of possibilities that we can tie in with her personality. Oh, maybe she pretended to be a tamed Tyner Liger in the troop, but got caught changing back. Oh, that could be entered. That could be very interesting, Dark Wolf. So they were billing it that they have an animal tamer, but in fact, it was her the whole time. It was just a druid. So it wasn't really the skill of the animal taming. It was the fact that she was willing to do that. And you know what? Maybe if we go along that route, maybe that somehow brought shame back to her religious community in her druid circle. And they said you shouldn't be using your natural gifts like this. It's here to help you get to know nature, to be one with nature, to understand how animals live. And here you are exploiting this for money, for peanuts. Ahem, says King. So that could. So if we go with that, Dark Wolf, I mean, we'll make a note. What might her token be? For you, Dark Wolf, Bubonic, King, Tycho. Any of you thinking of this here? Let's see. She's gonna get a costume of some kind. What do we want the costume to appear to be? And she's also going to get a belt pouch with 15 gold in it. Don't worry, I have copies, gives the Bubonic. Okay, let's go over to our halfling section under races. Here we go. Whoop. Halflings are naturally dexterous, so they all get +2. We're going to make a note here. She is small, SMOL. They do run at 25 feet, which means you have a 12 climb and a 12 swim and a 0 fly. You are lucky. You can re-roll that 1. You are also brave. You have advantage on saving throws versus being frightened. There we go. Fill that in under advantages. We are also getting halfling nimbleness. You could move through the space of any creature that is of a size larger than yours. Languages, we get Common and Halfling. And as a Stout, we are also going to get advantages on Poison and resistance to poison damage. And our Con goes up by 1. There we go. She needs groupies. Tycho says, looks like I might have a bit of a new mystery meat for the donor package. Stage rug and a fresh awoo rug. Oh, stage 1. A fresh awoo rug. Don't mind me starts editing. Spicy Larry, hey, welcome Spicy. Things are spicing up now. We're getting character number 4 underway. She's a bit of a scandalous druid. And you win 7 and 14. 7 plus 3 is 10, and the Orc Warband needed a 12. Unfortunately, Spicy Larry jumps on the scene, and the Orcs savage him and and drags him back into the forest for unsavory acts. And greetings to you, Spicy Larry. I don't know if Buddha's here. This is your time to strike. Unless he's lurking, waiting for the challenge. All right, those are halfling stuff. Let's go down to druid stuff. We get stuff as druids. As a 10th level, dun, 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 this is what we get, all in the blue box. First things first, we're going to be getting some hit dice. In fact, we're going to get 10 of them for the sheer coincidence that we are a level 10 character. Druids get D8s. D8s. We've used 0. And you can X out, 0 out, or leave blank these other ones if you think that they're distracting. Verde Dragon, greetings. Room for a Green Dragon is in this stream. Welcome. We have gnolls, we have orcs in this stream. We have a very Spicy Larry, and now we have a Verde Dragon. Welcome, welcome. Do you have a lot of experience then in D&D? Do you enjoy role-playing? Are you primarily a DM, PC? Are you a newcomer and you like the thought of it? Oh yeah, by the way, we also have an Awoo in here, Verde Dragon. We have a Dark Wolf, who is in a bit of a photogenic mood right now, by the way. She was trying to take some scandalous pictures of Tycho, and King is doing his best to scrub the internet of those pictures. Dark Wolf is a creeper tonight, says Rowmonger. Oh, and Bubonic, yes, we have a Plague Bringer in here too. Now, if only Norton the Gnoll shows up. Oh no, Spicy's hiding from the Dargon. As a druid, we get proficiencies with light, medium, and shields. With the cultural note of druids will not wear armor or use shields made of metal. Now, will that mean they can't cast druid spells? Your DM might make a hard interpretation that you've fallen if you've done that. It's just a cultural taboo. In fact, if she's already kind of shunned and she can't go back, maybe she uses metal armor and weapons. You know, what does she mind or care? So it's a note. Discuss it with your DM. Hey, Norton the Gnoll is here. Oh, speak of the Gnoll. You're a little new. You started playing last year. Well, so Norton, we have a Verde Dragon. We have a Green Dragon among us. We have an Awoo with Dark Wolf. We have a Plaguebringer. We have a King. I'm probably missing others here. So Verde, welcome. As you can tell, we're an informative stream. We're a culture stream, a community stream. As I build this character, ask questions about what is going on if you'd like. Ask random questions or say, oh, you know what? I could really use some advice. I have a game coming up on Saturday, and this is the situation, and I'd like to know what I should do in this instance. Talk as much as you want. Feel free to roleplay Verde Dragon. I love seeing it, and I encourage it. There are many people in here that do role-playing. Participate however you want. You're sitting in a chair at a store and a game table, and we're having a lot of fun together talking about role-playing in D&D. Yep, King is absolutely correct because he is 100% true good. What else do we get? As a druid, oh yes, we have a very interesting list of weapons here. It's effectively simple minus unarmed and something else. I think it was hammers. Hammers, axes, and light crossbows, something like that. Well, however you want to go about defining it. Whoop. Yeah, no hammers. There's our weapon proficiencies. We are going to receive tool proficiencies also in an oibolism kit. We will receive proficiency in the saving throws of intelligence and wisdom. So we're going to fill in the diamond here and the diamond here. They can use they can use scimitars, bubonic. Although yeah, I'm sorry, that's true. That would be like a plus scimitar because that's a martial weapon technically. Thank you. And also Norton, thank you for the Discord share. All right, at level 10, let's scroll across here. We are going to know 4 cantrips. Nice placeholders. 1, 2, 3, whoops, and 4. And then our spell slots are going to be 4, 3, 3, 3, 2. And again, you can leave these blank, X them out, put zeros if you want. Whatever makes sense to you. King says scimitar. Verde, so far, I've used the free basic player rules from the internet, getting back into the role-playing scene, and I plan to get the expanded books soon, too. I seek to know more ways you mortals play this game, and also I just want a little more reference and stuff, more races. So the majority of what we do is going to be out of the core 3 books. I don't mind talking about the other books. It's not forbidden or anything here. I just don't have convenient PDFs for them. However, there are people over here, and I can add my own 2 cents, or my 2 copper in this case. There are people here who can also discuss that. We are very story focused. We're storytellers. We will discuss mechanics. Because that's a supportive. The crunch is what supports the fluff, or it can. So if you hang around here, Verde, you'll get a lot of inspiration, I hope. Spicy Larry says, your favorite D&D expansion of all time. You mean 5th edition, or is this a lead-in for something else? By the way, Spicy says, may I join the containment unit? Sorry, I missed that earlier. Spicy Larry, did you still need that picture of a roleplay group in action? Because I can post that up on the Discord. All of my Curse of Strahd players consented to be in the picture, and so I took one of them from tonight's session, and I can forward that over to you. Oh, he means that I'm his favorite expansion. Got you. All right. I'm like the unauthorized. I'm the unauthorized biography. the no pictures, please. No problem, Spicy. I'll tell you what. When we finish this character, I have to hop on Discord anyway because Bubonic touched up the random character generation table that we're using, and I will download that and then I'll upload the picture. Okay. All right, what toys are we going to play with? I'm sorry, we get some... Well, I guess these are toys. Skills can be. We get to choose 2 from Arcana, or Arcana. Animal handling, insight, medicine, nature, perception, religion, and survival. Ooh. Whew. All right. Well, let's look at her personality. Let's look at her lifestyle. Who is she? Who was she? Um, who she is going to determine her skill proficiencies. Yeah, that's what you meant. The core book. Sorry about that. It's sort of expanded. So I plan to get 2 or 3 of the core books. Must have the Monster Manual 5e. Norton is sleepy. Did you eat? Did you eat an adventurer before the stream, Norton? What did I tell you about that? Well, if you're doing so, Dark Wolf, at least let me put on a pose. I got my ranger hat on, right? I can kind of bend this down and kind of have like a Carmen Sandiego kind of look. Oh, hello. Well, we have a guest, everyone. There we go. And showing everyone your pretty face. Norton can't help it. It is in Norton's nature. Oh, grumble, grumble. That must be the good stuff then, if you're getting all grunty. Like, I'm really giving his skull a good scritch in here. And he's like purring, but it's coming out as like... Get some good scruff right here. He's really, so this is Raichi, and he's really just he's a big fuzzy slug. If you look up a tiger slug, in fact, I can do so right here. Yeah, I'm going to show him a picture of you out in the wild. Huh, it looks like someone else kind of made this comparison. So, here's this is not my tabby, but this is a tabby compared to a tiger slug. And really, if you just look at him, I mean, this is really what he is. Because right now, he's curled up on his side. He has his 4 paws against me to brace with the keyboard behind him. And so he is, he's a big old slug right now. He's kind of like this. Except he has his feet are coming out here and touching me. Yeah, you're a fuzzy slug. That's what you are. I agree, Verde. PDFs are good. I like having the physical book. Maybe it's illogical and it's just a visceral thing. I like being able to open up the pages, reference it whenever I want. I mean, not that you can't with a PDF, but I find it more satisfying to look it up and go from there. Norton the Knoll slowly falls over and goes to sleep, snoring softly. Aw. Well, Verde, if I can help at all answer questions about D&D, especially about being a DM, since I'm primarily a DM, I do play as a PC, please ask. And even though we're building characters as if we were PCs, we're doing so with a story basis and a story focus. So that should give you a lot of stuff to think about as a DM. Oh, what else are we doing here? We get some stuff. A wooden shield or any simple weapon, and a scimitar or any simple melee weapon. I don't know if she's really the sword and board type. Alright? She's a storyteller. She's an entertainer. I think that, I think she's just going to be more of a... if she carries weapons, I think she's just going to carry some simple weapons on her. I don't see her as sword and board. So for right now, let's put in some... let's put in some placeholders here. So a simple... and particularly here, a simple melee. Then we're going to equip her with some leather armor. an explorer's pack. Right now, also, he's being like those 3D mouse pads that you see on the internet, which not all of them are work safe. So if you're going to look those up, I'd be careful. Though probably a lot of you know what I'm talking about. And a druidic focus, which, if we want, we could make this a token or a trinket as well. Yeah, there is a global cooldown on a lot of those commands. We are also going to know the secret language of Druidic. Whoops. See what you're making me do, Raichi? Yips once or twice. Oh, Norton. Someone rub Norton's belly. He needs it. He might be having a bad dream. We're going to get to spell casting in a little bit. We're not quite there. We will, however, get Wild Shape. And we're going to put that here because this section of the modified character sheet is for things like key points, sorcery points. We have... we get to use this feature twice. Of course, all of this you need to consider when you're in wild shape form. We don't need to write that down for what we're doing here. We are going to receive our Druid Circle, and we're not 18th level, so we don't have a Timeless Body just yet. We are Circle of the Land. That means that we're going to get a bonus cantrip. We're going to label this is where we are. Here, we'll just put C for circle. This is how or why we're getting this extra cantrip. So if your DM ever looked at your character sheet and she wanted to know, well, I thought you only had 4 at this level. Well, it's saying that as a circle member, I get this 5th one. Spicy Larry draws a mustache on Norton the Knoll. Hey, 8-pack killer. Let's see. So, all right. So it sounds like you're setting up something somewhat elaborate. Roaring Draconic is a Dragonborn, and then the cleric in the group uses the cantrip that shakes an area but does no damage. Could we successfully pull off pretending? That depending on how descriptive you are, how appropriate it is for the content, your DM might allow that. You know, if you're combining abilities, it's a big elaborate plan. You all have the magical or physical capabilities, and you have the reason to do something like that. I don't see why you couldn't set up some kind of an elaborate ruse. Maybe your DM would ask for some kind of a skill challenge, or might introduce some kind of a variable 8-pack. But I think that's creative. It's something you could feasibly do. You know, if it's within the context of the campaign, be imaginative. Jam Jam is here. Welcome. Norton grabs Spicy around the neck as he tries so. Never mess with sleeping gnolls, he says. Spicy Larry goes limp and pretends to be a pillow. Verity, I also prefer using real dice as well. And yeah, my DM style is also my roleplay base. In the world I run, you also play as a PC when I'm a DM. Don't always do that, but once in a while. Okay, so you play as what's called a DM PC. Gotcha. Norton begins to shred the pillow. His nerves are frayed and is having an anxiety attack. Jam Jam, you came in at a very interesting time. We are going to receive natural recovery to get some spells back. Now we need to determine which kind of a druid where did she learn her druidic abilities. There are 8 variables, and so we're going to roll a d8 and determine which one. 2, coast. She's a coastal druid. And that works, especially with our setting. It's like this stuff does it itself. With the ability to cast certain spells at 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level. All right, so we're going to get all those. We're always going to have those prepared. So let's do this. Let's modify here. We'll put COL Coast. And when we do spells, we'll come back to what that means. We are also going to receive Land's Stride and Nature's Ward. When you reach 10th level, you can't be charmed or frightened by elementals or fae, and you're immune to poison and disease. Wow. So, damage immunities. We are immune to poison. So we're not even just resistant anymore. We are... oh, I'm sorry, that's a vulnerability. We are immune. Hey, Derek, good to see you. 8-Pack says, so would that be Charisma, Intimidate, or Deception? I don't know if I would run it. You could run it that way. So if you want to try and mimic that and you're not using a big... if you're not using a big illusion spell, because there are illusion spells that will just simulate all of that at once, 8-Pack. It might be something like Deception. Deception versus Insight. Or because you are using magic, while it's a lot of little abilities, you're trying to combine them. And what you might want to do is say, all right, there's a lot of these magics that are coming together. Let's say that I'm participating in this ruse, and my save DC versus my magic is 14, yours is 16, because you're a more dedicated spellcaster. So as a DM, I might say, all right, let's average them together and say that it is a DC 15 versus Insight, or something along those lines. And so I would roll for an NPC or a monster, and I would say then, given those conditions, if they get a 15 or above, then they realize that this is just it's a prank of some kind. If they don't get it, then I would have them be cautious. I don't know if it's completely believable, right? Because you haven't manifested a dragon, or there's a little bit of physical evidence that you indicated above there, but it's not like there's scrapings or scales or piles of bone or anything. So I would treat the NPC or the villain or the monster as warily cautious. So it might slow down a pursuit if they were chasing you. It might call for backup, so you'd buy yourself a little bit of time. It would really just depend on the other circumstances. Hopefully that's helping, 8-Pack. A lot of, and I encourage questions like this. These are thoughtful questions and ways to combo abilities and think outside the box. A lot of it is going to depend on the context of the situation. You're level 2? Gotcha, okay. King says, among your game design group, you have agreed that there's an irreplaceable quality of having cards and tokens that have a real weight to them, especially if they are a very important resource to the game. Bubonic is offering a stat spread for our character. King says, we often joke the best system would use weighted radioactive coins. 8-Pack, okay, that's an incredibly informative answer and exactly what you're looking for. You're very welcome. If you're going because you have a game, good luck, and let me know how that goes. If you're sticking around, hey, answer questions and go from there. Because ultimately, 8-Pack, it is about imagination and creation, but you have to be willing to bargain with your DM. Your DM should be willing to bargain with you, and be prepared for a no, and then hope for no, but, etc. and so forth. So my answer to you was as a thoughtful DM saying, well, you're simulating stuff, but here are my terms and conditions. And then you might say, oh, well, here's this and that. And we go back and forth, and then when both parties agree on how we want to treat this interaction, we're going to role play it out. We're going to then roll it out, ROLE, then ROLL, and everything's going to go from there because we negotiated. We created a mutually consenting reality, and then we played out that reality at the table. Ivalon feels disheartened. Why are you disheartened, Ivalon? You wanted to flesh out the dungeon, and the stupid thing is stupid. Did it throw the chair angrily and bigly because he was mad and also pissed, Ivalon? You lost your drive. Don't be disheartened. Ivalon, how can we save you? You can't lose your drive. Verity says, I see what you mean. To be honest, I like using real dice. At least real dice and character sheets make a better flowing game for me. It also adds, even if you just consider it windowed. Hey, Geeky Destro, thank you for the host. I really appreciate that. I super do. Even if it seems like window dressing, it still is bringing people into the game. It's creating a psychological gateway in a meta sense for you and your players. You want me to fix the random dungeon generator in the back of the DMG? Are you going like 100% like, is Ivalon now a procedurally roguelike dungeon generating machine? Or I thought you just wanted to go for the basics and not actually roll out every corridor. King says props are greater than webcams and friendly stating I attack it. Yeah. King old-fashioned Von Ale. Old Gramps Ale over here. Bubonic is thinking that she should be rocking an 8, a 12 in Dex, a 13 in Con, a 14 in Int. We still got to give her some skills, too, by the way. A 15 in Wisdom and a 10 in Charisma. I don't know. I don't really... having a high con, maybe. You know, she is a stout halfling. I think that could be a strength, you know, having some hit points. I don't know if she's really a fighter, if she's a dexterous fighter. I would give her... I would probably swap her dex with her charisma. If it were me. I think I see what you're saying, but I don't really see her using any of her weapons. You know, maybe defensively, but she's a caster, she's an entertainer. Plus, if she can just turn into a bear or something, I think she's going to be more of the nicer hands-off. She's going to want a high charisma. If we look at her personality, she gets bitter if she's not the center of attention, and when she comes to a new place, she collects local rumors and spreads gossip. She wants creativity and inspiration, and she's very ashamed of this scandal that we were going over. So yeah, I don't see her as being a very physical character at all. So maybe that maybe there's that, or even if you want to say, look, maybe we give her no, I don't know. Let's do 10, and then let's do 12 charisma here. Going over personality, what would she have? If she was maybe kicked out of her order, I don't know if she'd have knowledge nature. She's an entertainer. Probably perception and insight, I'm thinking. Perception and insight because she's a rumor monger, she's a storyteller. I think something like that would really come in handy. If you believe differently, well, let me know. Otherwise, I think we have our skills. And I think we can switch charisma with intelligence here. Per old D&D rules, he owes me a pint of blood or all the mouse skulls he can fit inside of his mouth at one time. And that's because you must yell at a friend for incorrectly weighting his token choices for our Myth Ender game. How's that going to help new DMs, though, if I just do plot points in the dungeon? I don't know. Do you want to, if you want to encourage freeform thinking, that's what you do. You provide an outline. If you want to say, look, everything here was done by the book and I generated it, everything was randomly done. Everything you need is in the resources, and I'm going to show you how. You can do that too, Evelyn. What you might want to do for when I was doing a random dungeon, just roll a d20 like 40 times and write down all of the results, and then write down a percentile like 20 times. And then as you come across different needs of rooms or corridors or doors, just pull the numbers off and make a map. And on your map, just make little rectangles for hallways and squares or whatever for rooms and write the number, and then go back and fill that in later. Dorgrim, there are 2 sections for creating dungeons in the Demage. The Demunga. Let's see. She'll probably have a dagger for self-defense, and let's go with a sling. Okay, there's your cantrips. There's that. Now, if we go with this spread, this is going to give her a 14 con. So she's got the curves. 12 dex. So she's somewhat proficient with this stuff. At level 10, our proficiency bonus is 4. And before we do any more totals, we need to give her both the feats that she took. She didn't take ability score increments. She's specializing in something. Now, she's already a ritual caster. We don't have to worry about that. Is she going to be a combat caster? Maybe not. I don't know. She has a sling and a dagger. I don't think she's really expecting physical fights. She's a backliner. The exchange between Ivalon and Dorgrim here. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Let's bring this out because aside from doing spells, which we will do last here, we're going to go to chapter 6, character customization, and look at our feats. Dorgrim. Maybe she's an actor. Increase charisma by 1. You have advantage on deception and performance when trying to pass yourself off as a different person. You can mimic the speech of another person by the sounds made by other creatures. You must have heard the person speaking or heard them for at least a minute. That could be interesting. I don't know if she's really physical to want to take athlete. Alert's not a bad one. +5 to initiative, and you can't be surprised. Other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls. If you're always ready, like if you're looking around, you always want to be the center of attention. If you're a rumor monger, your ears are always perked, and scanning around for juicy gossip. Alert could make sense in a roleplay scheme. Elemental Adept, when you gain this feat, choose one of the following damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Spells you cast ignore resistance to or damage to the chosen type. Ooh, she isn't more of a dedicated spellcaster. You can treat any 1 on a damage die as a 2. Oh, that's cool. You can select this feat multiple times. Each time you must choose a different damage. That could be interesting. Do we want to make her thematic to, I don't know. Look, so she's immune to poison, right? She was resistant as a stout halfling. Now she's immune by a druid. We could super specialize and give her, oh no, well, that says acid. It doesn't say poison. As a DM, would we allow poison? We could. It's thematic to the character. Something to think about. Durable, we can increase her con even more. And that will regain hit points. Oh, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. You know what? Do I have, I'm not sure if I have, yeah, shoot, I didn't have any background music playing this whole time. Let's go into the forest, right? We're making a druid. Let's play some foresty music. Thank you very much, though. Um, the, Wu Dank, the Wu Dank clan. Thank you for the follow. Do you play a lot of D&D? Are you a role player? Is it D&D, World of Darkness, Dark Heresy, 7th Sea? What are you into? Observant? Yeah, okay, we could look at Observant Dark Wolf. Ivalon, that's literally everything in the world. Hey, Death Count, good to see you here. Steps over Norton the Knoll quietly, sitting down back against the wall, looking and making sure no one saw him. Yeah, so we have a guard knoll, apparently. He already tore up a pillow. The pillow had, it was one of those big body pillows with an anime drawing of Spicy Larry on it. Ivalon and King are having a polite, a civil disagreement right now. Well, the dungeon was built by lawful good human wizards, is the prompt to the dungeon. I think that can answer a lot of things, especially because an evil aberration wants to use it to assert control or dominance over things. There's a lot of plot just right there. Let's see. Well, we could go healer. She has an herbalism kit, not a healer's kit, but that could be fixed. Heavily armored, no, not there. Inspiring leader, she does have a high charisma. You can spend 10 minutes inspiring your companions, showing up the resolve to fight. When you do so, choose up to 6 friendly creatures within 30 feet of you who can hear or understand you. Each creature can gain temporary hit points equal to your level. So that is a very good support. I think she would be a supporter, right? She supports her old troop. She supports the people on the ship. She can give very rousing speeches. Inspiring leader, I think, could be a good one, too. King says, so wizards don't have a sense for right or wrong. Linguist. She can speak several languages. That might make sense also because she's a storyteller and she's served on many ships. Being able to speak several languages might make a lot of sense also for her. Hey, JT, it's good to see you again. You're never fond of inspiring leader. It's good flavor, but I don't know. Giving everyone temp hit points is good. I mean, that buys them an initial hit, really. It is very good for flavor, but every creature gains equal to your level. So in this case, they'd be getting, 12? 12 temp hit points? That saves cure spell on everyone in the party. Well, at least part of a cure spell. Linguist might make sense. Lucky, I mean, she already has a form of Lucky as a halfling. Lucky is good for everyone. Therefore, I don't want to consider Lucky because it's ubiquitous and you can put it on everyone. Gizwidget. Are you the murderer? Welcome. Thank you for following. Thank you for coming aboard our adventure here in storytelling. Have you played a lot of D&D, a lot of role-playing, World of Darkness stuff? Any other systems? You are welcome at our nerd table here. We've all pulled up chairs. We're sitting in a game store. We're talking about building dungeons. We're talking about our own experiences. There are... Death Count says, surprise look. Oh, hi, you were seen. We have some light role-playing going on in the chat. Welcome, welcome. She's not a great weapon master. Mage Slayer, probably not. We can make her even more magical with a magic initiate. Choose a class: Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Warlock, or Wizard. You learn 2 cantrips. We can give her another 2 cantrips if we wanted to. And in addition, choose a first level spell from the same list, so we can give her even more spells. We could make her super magical. Right? If she's support, maybe she takes a magic initiate. having a utility, a bunch of cantrips available isn't a bad thing to have. Mobile, but she can turn into an animal. That might not be her thing. Observant, as Darkwolf said, that could work too, right? Increase your int or wisdom, and if she took that, if she did take observant, that would bump her wisdom up, because instead of taking 2 ASIs, we rolled that she's taking 2 feats. Observant and linguist go very well together, by the way. Resilient, she might be, but I don't know if she's super resilient like that. She is already a ritual caster. If we want to make her super magical, we could take Magic Initiate and Ritual Caster. That's going to give her more spells. Do we want to make a super magic-y druid? What else? Skilled. We could make her skilled. Spell sniper. I don't know if she's really combatant, though. I think she, by her personality, she's very supportive. Bubonic likes observant and linguist. Well, why don't we do that then? King is also telling us a moral tale of wizards. Can someone shunning the intentions for a loving God to create a just and fair world for mortal beings be considered lawful or good? Question mark. By the very nature of wizardry, to pry the mothering grasp of reality from existence, one cannot possibly be considered good or lawful. This is why every wizard is eventually consumed entirely by their arcane inquisition, shuffled off the material world into some ethereal dimension of pure energy or whatever hippies believe in. Okay, so let's give her linguist and observant. By doing this, her intelligence will increase 1. So she's at a 13. She was going to learn 3 extra languages. She's definitely a diplomat of the group here. And she can create written ciphers. Others can't decipher it. And so I'm also going to put... written ciphers as a language itself. Observant, then, this is int or whiz, so we should probably increase our wisdom a little bit to improve our spell casting. Otherwise, hey, you know, throwing it in there would be interesting. So our wisdom's going to 16. If we can see a creature's mouth while speaking, we can understand, we can interpret by reading its lips, and we have a +5 to our passive perception and investigation scores. Very nice. All right, now that we've done this, we've done the math part of the character creation. Let's figure out what we have going here. -1 for strength, 1 for dex, 2 for con, 1 for int, 3 for wisdom, and 2 for charisma. We can take these numbers and let's control copy that 1. 1, 1, and 1. Acrobatics is going to be a 5. 2 for a con saving throw. 1 and 4 is 5 for int. Everything else here, there we go. 3 and 4 is 7. Lucky 7s there. And 3s elsewhere. Next up, we have 6 for performance and 2s in everything else. There we go. That was easy. King turns into animal. King Von Ale turns animal feces into a rancorous ball of fire to throw at the local fauna and flora. I'm a good guy, he says. I'm a good guy, he says. I do good things, he says. Everyone loves me, he says. Passive perception, 10, plus our 7, because we're perceptive, plus the 5 from the feet, is going to give us a passive 22 perception. Nothing's getting by her, including rumors. She's a gossip monger. Definitely has a role on a ship, too, then. Alright. Current hit points at level 1. You get your maximum HD hit dice. Plus, every other level, I recommend going half plus 1 for your hit points. They have D8s, so this is going to be 9 levels times half plus 1, which is 5. Plus, every level, so 10 levels, of your Constitution bonus. Da, 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 da. Now we do our basic Algebra 1 here. 20. 45. So this is 65. And we are at 73. We have a very beefy druid here. Her armor class, well, she's wearing leather armor. That starts at 11, plus her 1 from dexterity gives her a 12. Her initiative is 1. Now, if she took alert as a feat later, then that would go up to a 6. She's earned a name now. She's not just a pile of math. For our dex-based attacks, we have 1 plus proficiency, so this is a plus 5. She's not combat heavy. 1d4 plus 1. And we're going to copy this here. This is piercing. Nope, stop. There we go. And this is bludgeoning. Oh, yes. Our for how difficult it is to resist our spell effects, it is 8 plus our spellcasting modifier, so we're at 11 plus proficiency. We are at 15. Attack is your proficiency plus your modifier. This is going to be plus 7. Or you can just subtract the 8 base that you get. Yeah, 22 passive perception, Bubonic. Isn't that ridiculous? She's such a wee little thing, too. 2'9". Good gracious. Okay, now we get to go into the spellcasting portion. Dun, 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 dun. We are a... Whoops, that's her name. Page 3. We are a druid. We get wisdom modifier, which is 3, plus our druid level. 13 spells prepared. We're casting off of our whiz. We said this was 15, and this was a plus 7 to hit. Then we have our wild shape. We get 2 of those, and we've used 0. And we have no scrolls or anything for over here. Cantrips. 1, 2, 3, 4, circle. So if you want, you can put circle first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four, 3, 3, 3, 2. we go. Now, druids can wake up every day and switch up their spells. If we were to assign spells to her beyond her cantrips, what that would be is it'd be practice in her personality. If she woke up on any given day on this ship as part of a crew, what would her basic spell suite be? Let it be an extension of her personality, of her circumstances. Let her spells tell the story of who she is and what she does aboard the ship. You see her being the ship's lookout in combat situations. She can stay back until the situation calls for her to blow up and go wild. Yeah, and I think that would go when she gets leave on land. She goes and she collects rumors and other things, too, for herself and for the ship. She's an entertainer and a lookout, I believe. We are going to get some bonus spells, however. She is a coastal druid. That means that... let's do this. Control V. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. She's going to get Mirror Image and Misty Step. She will receive Water Breathing and Water Walk. She will receive Control Weather and Freedom of Movement. Conjure Elemental and Scrying. And you know, because our third character here, Malda, is a Fey Warlock, that would mean that these two might have been able to study together, or maybe because she has this Fey patron while it's arcane magic, she may have picked up some tips or at least guidance from the ship's druid here. And that could help explain, too, why she took Minions of Chaos as an invocation at level 9. Because this allows for the conjuration of an elemental. Well, maybe that means that these two, in a pinch, can summon elementals together and really help or hurt a situation. All right, well... aside from us going through the list and doing that personality exercise, you can split up her 13 spells however you want, right? You can give her 9 level 1 spells if you really want to, and then split up, 10, 11, 12, 13. And there you go. You give her one of each. You can split it evenly if you wish. That's up to you, and realize that at these higher levels, you're a little bit more limited. You can only cast a level 5 spell twice. Whether it's a base level 5 spell, or whether it's a level 2 spell that you're ramping up and casting through a 5th level slot. So how you do this is going to be up to you as a character, and keep in mind that for what we're doing, if we gave her a spell sheet right now, it would be, this is who she is, this is what she does. So as Bubonic says, if we're saying that she's the lookout and an entertainer aboard the ship, a lot of her spells are going to be, are going to enhance that. They might enhance people's moods. They might make her more perceptive. They're going to do a lot of these things. And you know what? She's probably also going to be a healer of sorts on board the ship. Death count becomes overpowered from the burning feces and Flora scent, and starts to gag. Starts to fan the air away from him. Oh yeah, so that's so King was describing how wizards tend to be kind of derpy, and they'll save the material component for fireballs right next to the kitchen, maybe for convenience sake, because wizards need fireball spells and wizards need food. So it would only make pure logical sense if these two necessities for wizards are stored next to each other. All right, we pretty well have a completed character. She needs a name, by the way. And also, we could throw in little details. What was her admirer's token? Is that a trinket? Do we want to roll on the trinket table real quick? Do we want to roll a trinket for the druidic focus? Although not everything might be thematically druidic. If we do that, here, let's go to equipment and trinkets. Let's see. A fan of hers gave her something that she's hanging on to. Let's make her trinket or her admirer token a trinket. What is it? It's a D percentile roll. 13. A tooth from an unknown beast. We're just going to put number 13 for shorthand. Someone gave her a tooth from an unknown beast. Well, you know what? We're rolling a druid. That's probably got her attention. Where did this thing come from? Maybe it's even nautical. What if it ends up being like a giant squid's beak and it's not a tooth? As a DM, play with it. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Hey, Shippo. You found an interesting ranger. And what ranger is that, Shippo? A level 14 half-elf, 5 levels ranger, 5 levels barbarian, 2 levels rogue, 2 levels monk. Oh, you mean a shark's tooth. And what if it's not even just a shark? What if it's something like a megalodon? You want to talk about scary stuff. That's what we're talking about. They get the mobile feat from one of their level 4s. So what is So Shippo, what is the what about that build is interesting to you? They have a base movement of 70 at all times. Oh. That could be a big old shark for sure. Ooh. There's an interesting concept, huh? Something like that coming at you? With a toothy tentacle? Bubonic wants to name her Shianna. Is her first name start with O, so she's Oceana? With Rogue's Cunning action, they can move 140 feet per turn while attacking with a longbow. They also have Sharpshooter, so their range is 600 without disadvantage. It's an interesting mechanical build. I wonder if that's not a little overkill, though. Huh, something like a Remora shark? That'd be interesting. I'm going to talk about D&D monsters. I mean, it could be kiting, but you're still only getting the amount of attacks that you're getting. How much is too much, though? Because there's also a point where the monster's just not going to care. Unless you can somehow make the monster sticky to you, Shippo. I get it. It's a very cool concept. But when, I may be being peppered by arrows, but if I can't do anything about the person who's shooting arrows at me, I'm just going to attack the person that I can hit and that's standing there next to me. No one knows her first name, but she can use O? Sure. Forgot. Halflings get 0 dark vision. There we go. I believe she's she's almost completely filled in now for anything that she'd have. She needs languages. We'll do that when we assemble the party tomorrow night. Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure, it is backlining. I just wonder though. So if we're playing this at a tabletop, if we're playing this on the map, so if you can run that far and that much, what if you're already 10 feet away from an enemy, and the enemy's not moving, it's not necessarily going to matter if you're 30 feet or 50 feet away, especially if it's a melee enemy. If you're 5 feet away, I guess it's at 10 because you're 5 feet away from them. So if you're at 10, you might as well be 3 miles away, because the melee enemy is not going to matter. Now, if you're facing maybe some spellcasters and you want to try and get range and you want to use cover or if you're playing a tactical game with some other ranged combatants, maybe. I guess that would come down to, can they shoot through cover, or are they also highly mobile and tactical too? I can see that piece definitely darting all around on a map. I'm thinking conceptually too. What would so in combat, would you be making full use of that in every round? I appreciate you sharing that still, Shippo. It's a fun thought experiment, and I always love math like that. While I don't tend to, I personally don't tend to min-max statistics like that. That doesn't mean that I don't like hearing about it or I'm knowledgeable, because I'll tell you what, Shippo, if someone came in my store and said, oh, I'd really love to build a super mobile character, I want someone who can just dart around the battlefield, hey, now I'm aware of such a build, and I couldn't have done that without you. It's more solo-ish? Oh. That's pretty quick. Because if you take Windwalk as a spell, I'll show you here. It's going to flash a little bit as a heads up. Windwalk here. You have a flying speed of 300 feet. This spell makes you be able to travel at 60 miles an hour for 8 hours. And that is so that's a flying speed of 300 feet. So that would mean that this character can, if not attacking, just like with windwalking, can move about 40 miles an hour. So as a heads up on how that scales. Well, yeah, I know for that one turn. All right, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna make some tea, maybe some fruit punch. We'll see. And we are going to make our final character of the party for this week's campaign. So I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Continue talking, sharing, having fun, role playing. And when I come back, we're going to have character number 5, Bubonic One. I will also get that touched up version of the generator from our Discord.
If you wanna sail with us, you'd better know the rules. We don't put up with bastards, we never serve the fools. We're giving you fair warning, you never should ignore. If you piss us off, we're gonna throw you overboard. Mighty Lester Freyvor, he was master of the house. Prancing like a peacock, he ordered us about. We cornered him at dinner, his sloppy smile sank. We grabbed him by the powdered wig and made him walk the plank. Blowhard Andy Stein would simply bore us all to death. We had to spend an hour just pretending we were deaf. He started off the story, he couldn't even tell. We edged him to the bow and tipped him over in the swell. We danced all day upon the rolling wave. We danced all day on your grave. We danced all day upon the rolling wave. We danced all day on your grave. Tessie Olivetti was such an awful tease. She battered her eyes so often it would conjure up a breeze. She used to her advantage in engaging better quarters. She's sleeping with the fishes, now we chucked her in the water. Parker wouldn't pay his way, though rich as any prince. Went for a stroll one evening, we haven't seen him since. The Albert twins and Shadow was a mimic every move. They thought that it was flattering, and now they're missing too. We dance all day upon the rolling wave. We dance all day on your grave. We dance all day upon the rolling wave. We dance all day on your grave. Sail with us, you'd better know the rules. We don't put up with bastards, we never serve the fools. We're giving you fair warning, you never should forget. A person who won't piss us off, we haven't met one yet. We dance all day upon the rolling wave. We dance all day on your grave. We dance all day upon the rolling wave. We dance all day on your grave. We dance all day upon the rolling wave. We dance all day on your grave. We dance all day upon the rolling wave. We dance all day on your grave. On your grave. On your grave. On your grave.
I'll tell you a story of pirates so bold who sailed through the air to put gold in our hold. We sacked lots of merchants and navy men too, but when we took on dragon our payment was due. Singing fly high did I do, fly lordy day, fly high did I do, fly lordy day. We first found her, lay her in the mountains so tall, in a cave up so high, hard to see it at all. We anchored a lee and we slid down the ropes, giggling like schoolboys and strolling like dopes, singing fly high did I do, fly lordy day, fly high did I do, fly lordy day. We have never been bested as yet as a crew. We're bold, young and strong, and we knew what to do. Till Davy and Jonas were snatched in those jaws, and young Timmy Carter was split by her claws, singing fly high did I do, fly fly lordy day. Fly high and I do, fly lordy day. 'Twas only a moment before we got wise. One dragon is worth more than 20 our size. We fell back a panting to the ship and our guns, and wished that that cannonball weighed 50 tons. Singing fly high and I do, fly lordy day. Fly high and I do, fly lordy day. Well, the first shot went wide and she roared in her aisle, and a blast from her maw set the poop deck on fire. The captain, he cursed at the cost to his ship, as her tail split the mast when around it did whip. Singing fly high and I do, fly lordy day. Fly high and I do, fly lordy day. That's all our me hearties, the captain he cried, or she'll split our guts on that cold mountainside. He drew up his cutlass and parted the rope. We crawled away slowly, not daring to hope. Singing fly high did I do, fly lordy day. Fly high did I do, fly lordy day. We were sure we were goners, or charcoal at best, but the dragon turned around and went back to her nest. A single conclusion made every man frown. We weren't worth the trouble of hunting us down. Singing fly high did I do, fly lordy day. Oh, fly high did I do, fly lordy day. Now we limped our way down to the nearest seaport, and the shipwrights all had a portion they did snort. Their laughter, it rang from the shore to the skies. You ain't seen the first digits of seeking that prize. Singing fly high did I do, fly lordy day. Oh, fly high did I do, fly lordy day. So when you go hunting dragons, remember their might, and don't go a-thinking it's an average fight, but sneak up behind them with cunning and stealth, or instead of steal and you only add to their wealth. Singing fly high did I do, fly lordy day. Oh, fly high did I do, fly lordy day. Singing fly high did I do, fly lordy day. Fly high did I do, fly lordy day.
I thought I heard our captain say, pay me my money down. Tomorrow will be your salary day. Pay me my money down. Pay me, you owe me. Pay me my money down. Pay me now or go to jail. Pay me my money down. I heard them talking in the deck below. Mr. Veston's son, pay me my money down. I'd sit around the house and drink his rum. Pay me my money down. Pay me, you owe me. Pay me my money down. Pay me now or go to jail. Pay me my money down.
I wish I was Mr. Avalon's girl.
Pay me my money the Numa, running down the Numa. To Numa's coast we are bound, me boys. We saw the Numa, sinking company ships, don't you make no noise. Running down the Numa, we saw the Numa, running down the Numa, sinking company ships, don't you make no noise. Running down the Numa.
Okay, I have returned. I have a little bit of, made some fruit punch. Probably have a red lip or something. Let's see. So we have some character art here. I'll come back on stage, such as a stage exists. With some background music. Let's go to the Docks District. All right, we're staying nautical.